went to Best Buy the other day in hopes of seeing the PSP Go. They had a number of them on display on the shelf, about 5 white ones, 1 black, which tells me that people are scooping up the black more than they are the white. But they did not have a demonstration unit, so I was unable to look at them. Now, I'm in a bit of a quandary here. iPod Touch versus the PSP Go. I do have a first generation iPod Touch. I'm very seriously looking at upgrading to a third generation for Christmas, either 32 or 64 gig. I'm also looking at the possibility of a PSP Go. Now, in case any of you are wondering the same thing, I am going to break it down a little bit because I've actually found out more information about how Sony's going to work this. I'm going to compare it to the iPod Touch. First of all, if you're looking at gaming capabilities, the iPod Touch is the only multimedia device that comes with a screen reader built into it. And I say this because even though the games are inaccessible with the screen reader, should I lose my vision completely, I will still have complete access to other features of the iPod Touch, like productivity features, things that the PSP does not have. Now, that being said, the PSP Go is a dedicated gaming device. Now, the PSP Go is here's how they set it up. The games that I talked about earlier that I said were going to be cheaper, I goofed. Those were mini games, okay? Those are not full titles. They are mini games. And on top of that, if you do want a full game, it's going to be anywhere between $20 to $40 from what I hear, versus the iPod Touch App Store being $1 to $10, depending on what the title is. Now, both stores do have the opportunity to download light versions, basically a try it before you buy it system, which is something I wish Nintendo would adopt, because if you like a game, you download it, you spend the points, and you find it, you think it looks good, you spend the points, you download it, and then you find out, oh, it's not what I wanted, it's not what I thought it would be. Well, guess what? You've already spent your points, you're stuck. But that's a little off the subject. Excuse me. Pardon me. So, $40 versus $10 for the iPod Touch and the PSP Go. Another thing about the PSP Go, I actually saw It's Me Morpheus download a game onto his PSP Go. It took, get ready for this, 30 minutes for a 300 megabyte file. Why? Because the PSP Go only has 802.11b Wi-Fi on board. It does not have 802.11g. Another thing to consider, after it's been downloaded, it has to install, right? Well, the iPod Touch and iPhone download and install the game pretty much at the same time in one big swoop. You know, once that little blue progress bar is done, it's ready to go. You don't have to install it or anything. Well, let's say you spend the 30 minutes downloading the game. You have to wait another 15 minutes or so, 10 to 15, for it to install. Okay, so in total, 45 minutes, anywhere between 30 and 45 minutes, maybe even longer, with the PSP Go versus 5 minutes with the iPod Touch to do the same thing. And it's cheaper on the iPod Touch. So, unfortunately, I cannot comment on the hardware because, like I said, I was unable to see the device in person. But, you know, there are several pluses there in the iPod Touch's favor, most notably in terms of cost, download speed, and compatibility, believe it or not. The Media Go software that is required for the PSP Go's side-loading feature to work, in other words, you do not have to download via the PSP itself, you can download through your computer. Here's the catch. If you are a Mac user, you're going to have to run Windows either through VMware Fusion or Boot Camp because it is Windows-specific software. Obviously, if you're running Windows, you're good to go. Linux is going to be interesting because I have yet to try this software via Wine, and I cannot guarantee that it'll work. It would be interesting to see what happens. Now, Does the iPod Touch trump the PSP? Possibly, depending on how you look at it. The one more thing that the iPod Touch does have over the PSP is pricing. Now let me explain. With the iPod Touch, if you want the full gaming experience with the extended graphics, and in terms of my case, or Jetfly 15's case, backup accessibility in case we reach a point where we cannot use the screens anymore at all. I think Jetfly actually is more of a screen reader user than I am, but that's besides the point. So if we needed to use the screen reader, if we lose our vision and we couldn't game anymore, well, that's fine. We couldn't game, but the point is we could still use the iPod Touch as a productivity device or a VoIP phone using Skype or one of the other applications in the App Store. That's not possible with the PSP Go. It does have Skype on board, but you cannot use it because if you lose your vision, there's no screen reader, there's no accessibility. Now, again, the PSP is a dedicated gaming device, so we need to keep that in mind. But with the iPod Touch, it just seems like you get more bang for your buck, because for $300 you can get a 32 gig model. For $250 you get the PSP Go, and with the PSP Go you get an 802.11b connection, $40 downloads, 30-minute downloads, 10-minute installs. Okay, with the iPod Touch, you get, for $300, you get 32 gigs, you get literally 60-second download and installs, you get games between, $1 to $10. Now, does that mean the iPod Touch trumps the PSP? Again, like I said, it depends on how you look at it. If you're looking at bang for the buck, then I would say yes. If, however, you are looking at titles that require, say, if you prefer actual tactile buttons, obviously the PSP Go would be your best bet then. And I only say this because I'm told that the Bluetooth feature and the USB, the Apple pin long dock connector, will allow for third-party gaming accessories, but I have yet to see anything in the Apple Store. If anybody knows anything that is officially supported by the iPod Touch, lead me to it. But depending on how you look at it, also the exclusive titles. There are titles on the PSP Go, obviously, that are not available for the iPod Touch. But if you're looking at third-party titles, there are a lot of titles that nowadays are coming out on all platforms, PSP, DS, PS3, Wii, and now the iPod Touch and the iPhone. So, which one would you get? In all honesty, I would say, this is just my opinion, but if you want exclusive titles, or there's a title that you know is not for the iPod Touch, and you know is for the PSP Go, then obviously the PSP Go is your only bet. But if you're looking at titles that would most likely be on all platforms, and most likely be on the iPod Touch in the App Store, then get the iPod Touch. I think it would be better bang for the buck in the long run. That being said, the one game that's making me consider the PSP Go is Tomb Raider Anniversary, specifically the one that's available for the PC. That's on the iPod. That's on the PSP Go. And if you're curious, I've got some gameplay videos, Tomb Raider Anniversary gameplay on the Mac or something like that. But yeah, that title and Gran Turismo are making me consider the PSP Go. But beyond that, the iPod Touch is definitely leaning more in my favor. But that's just me. That's my opinion. Take it as you will. But that's just a little thing on the iPod Touch versus the PSP Go. I think that unless Sony can really work some things out with their download system and upgrade the Wi-Fi, they're really going to be left out. But again, that's just me. That's just my opinion. Please take it as such. Thank you for watching. Comments are welcome. Insults against me will get you blocked, and have a nice day.